Hey, it's your Realtor Renae. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome to my channel. If you are coming back, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day, and time is very valuable. So I appreciate it to come in and to hear what little old me has to say about real estate and what is happening in our market right now. Today, I have a very special guest. His name is Tony Brown. He is a very dear friend of mine, but he is also my preferred mortgage lender or loan officer. Tony has been in the business for about 25 years, and he could correct me if I'm wrong when he comes on. But he does specialize in VHA, FHA, conventional and non-QM loans. But he is willing and qualified to take on any client who is ready to take on that step into going into home ownership. So, without further ado, I want to bring on my very good friend, Tony Brown. Welcome to my show.
I love the applause. I love the applause. Wow.
I thought you would. I said, I'm going to catch him off guard.
Yeah,
He is
everybody
not.
sit down.
He's
Everybody sit down, sit down. Okay.
no autographs, please, until after the show. Okay.
Right.
Welcome, Tony. Thank you so much for taking the time again out of your busy day because I know you are hustling out here in these real estate streets and you have plenty to do. But thank you again for taking time to come and join me today here
Oh,
on
my
my YouTube
pleasure.
channel.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, thank you. Thank you, Renee, for inviting me. And yes, you're correct. It's been 25 years that I've been in the business. So I'm proud of that as well.
Okay.
So I'm happy to share my knowledge and information here.
Awesome. Awesome. One thing I do want to also point out, Mr. Tony Brown is among the who's who in Atlanta real estate in 2022. Look at you. Look at all a fly right there. Okay. So that deserves a round of applause
Oh wow, second round. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was
as well.
nice. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Hey man, I'm excited to have you on my team. As I mentioned, Tony is a preferred lender of mine. He gets the job done. I don't work with anybody who can't get my clients to the closing table that I can't trust. I've known Tony for probably a little over 17 years now. And I know him, I trust him, and I know when I put my clients in his hands, they're in good hands. So, without further ado, let's talk about this down payment assistance program. It's called Chenoa. You just told me what the proper
Chenoa.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
Okay, it's called
Right.
Chenoa. It's a down payment assistance program that I'm excited about, and I wanted to bring Tony on just to talk about it, the benefits of it, how it can help those who are looking to purchase a home but may not necessarily have all of their money for down payment, and how this program can assist with that. So I do have questions for you,
Yes.
and we can just jump right on in there and talk about it. So the first question I have for you is, who is this loan for? Like, who would this loan benefit the most?
Okay. This loan is mainly going to benefit the person, as you mentioned, that needs a little help as far as the down payment is concerned.
Okay.
Um, Now, with that, let me kind of clarify. When you purchase a home, there are what I would say are three buckets of numbers that a buyer has to bring as far as funds to closing.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a down payment, is one
Right.
bucket, closing costs is a second bucket, and the third bucket is prepaid items. Okay, so when a buyer is preparing for what they need for closing, they have to know what those amounts are, and if they're a little short as far as their down payment or their closing costs or their prepaids, and they need a program that can come in and assist with any of those buckets. That's what Chenoa does. Chenoa has with it goes along with FHA. So FHA is a loan that comes with a 3.5% down payment requirement of the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in that sense, the 3.5% would be the down payment, that first bucket. The and going forth, the second bucket closing cost is generally around 3%, and then the prepaids are generally around 1%. So instead of the buyer having to bring up 7.5% out of pocket, the Chenoa fund can come in and cover the 3.5% of the down payment. So that
Mm.
lessens their out of pocket. Now they're still going to have closing costs of roughly 3% and prepaid items of roughly 1%. But and then Renae, of course, uh, you would be very influential in determining if the buyer can even get assistance from the seller to cover closing costs. But
Mm.
that would lessen the out of pocket even more. But what we're talking about here is how that down payment can be covered, which Chenoa would assist the buyers in that situation.
Okay, yeah, and absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up the seller assistance with some of the closing costs because right now we're in the market. And what's today's date? It's January 26th, 2023. So
Yes,
if you're watching this video later, the market may not be where it is right now. But as for right now, we're in a market where sellers are starting to contribute again to closing costs. A year ago, 2 years ago, that was totally not the case when we had 30 offers on one house and the seller was able to say, well, no, you're asking for closing costs and this person is not, or these other 29 people are not. Then we're going to go with what's most beneficial for me as a seller, or obviously as a seller's agent helping the seller go through that process. But now, as of right now, we are in a market where houses are starting to sit a little bit longer and sellers are starting to be more generous in contributing with a seller paid closing costs, or uh, offering the buyer assistance when it comes to that. So,
absolutely.
so this program coupled with that, I mean, again, in an ideal world, you would have X amount of dollars set aside so that you would not
Right.
necessarily need both. But we're in a world where that just very well may not be the case. So it's good to have these options out there for someone who desires to be a homeowner, but just may not have the way their bank account is set up. They just don't
Absolutely.
have that. So it's great that these options are out there, and there are other down payment assistance programs. But I wanted to focus on this one, and and who knows, we'll come back and talk about others. But I wanted to people to really understand what's out there for them as
Right.
an option if that is a challenge when it comes to them trying to purchase. So the next question I have for you, Tony, um, is this program just for first time home buyers, or can a repeat buyer, let's say I'm living in a house right now and I want to move to downsize or get a bigger house, and I don't necessarily, well, at this point, if somebody's living in a house and they've been there for a while, they sitting on some equity. But
Right.
is this program available for the person who's not the first time home buyer? Can it be available for a repeat buyer?
So, absolutely, yes. That's one of the distinguishing traits for the Chenoa program, that it is not a first-time home buyer required program.
Okay.
A lot of the other program or assistance out there, you have to be a first-time home buyer or have not owned any home in the last 3 years. That's what
Okay.
considered a first-time home buyer. But with Chenoa, you can currently own a home, and if you're going to be renting out that house and moving on to another one or what have you, you can still qualify for the Chenoa funds, and you don't have to be a first-time home buyer for for this program.
How about that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me my wheels turning. So okay. So if I want to make my current house an investment property,
Hmm.
then I can use it. Has to be your primary. I'm assuming that is.
It does have to be the one you're purchasing has to be your primary residence.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So this does not work for the investor who is trying to add to their investment portfolio. This is someone who's currently living in a house and they may want to use the house that they're currently living in to as an
Right.
investment. They can use the Chenoa funds to purchase their new primary residence.
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
they can.
All right. All
Mm.
right. We want to clarify that because we don't want no mortgage
Absolutely.
frauds going on up in here saying Renae and Tony said I could use Chenoa to buy me an investment property.
Right.
That's not what we're saying. Please pay attention.
Right.
Run it back if you need to listen to it again. Okay. So how does this program work as far as having to pay back the funds? um is it a second loan? Does it need to be, do you have to be in the house a certain amount of years and it falls off? Like, different programs have different stipulations. So with this one, how does this program work when it comes to you purchasing your property?
Absolutely. So first of all, it's going to go along with an FHA loan only. Okay, so
Hmm.
FHA has a 3.5% down payment requirement. But with Chenoa, you actually have two options. You can use the 3.5% of the gift funds, or you can use 5%. To kind of help out with some of those prepaids as well. So you
Mm,
actually have two different options that you can utilize with Chenoa. Okay.
okay.
Um, there are different fees and adjustments for whether you're doing a 3.5 versus the 5. So we have to look and see what works best for the buyer and what's the most cost effective, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
I would say in most cases, what's utilized the majority of the time is the 3.5%. Okay, just to
Okay.
cover the down payment. All right, but there are options of both 3.5 and 5. With that, it's a second mortgage, so there's also options of a forgivable second and also a repayable second.
Mm,
Okay, there again, there has different options. Which one may work best for the buyer? And honestly, the one that may work best is in most cases the buyer can qualify is the forgivable second. With that, there's going to be a silent second, no mortgage payment on that second lien. It's just a lien on the home that is forgivable after a certain period of time that you're in the home. Okay, so
okay.
um, and then once you've met once you've met that time period, then you can that loan goes away, and so you don't have to owe it anymore. But if you go with the repayable, then it does have a 10-year term that is repayable on that second mortgage. So it
Okay.
has a couple of different features that we have to look at it and see which one works best for the buyer.
Okay. All right. That sounds
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question because interest rates are such a concern right now for anybody who's thinking about purchasing. Um, are the interest rates the same, a little bit higher? How does the interest rates work when you're using a program such as this? Is it the same interest rate that you would get if you were using no program at all, if you were just going straight FHA? Or because you're using this program, does this affect the interest rates at all?
And that is key, and a great point there, because yes, the rates on this Chenoa program, they're not the same FHA. It's an FHA loan, but it has their own interest rates. And the rates on the Chenoa program are higher than if a person were to have their own down payment and closing costs and do a regular FHA loan. Rates are lower there. So there again, when the first question that you asked, which buyer is this suited for? It's suited for the buyer that is okay with making a little higher payment, but just don't have the down payment and closing costs and prepays all of the funds needed to close. But they can actually be okay with making a little bit higher payment, but coming to closing with less funds. So the rates are, so to answer that question, rates are a little higher when it comes to the Chenoa program.
Okay. Can it be refinanced? Can you refinance into a lower rate, or is that an option?
Absolutely,
Mm,
absolutely. You can refinance out of the program and then see if, and get a better rate come down the road. You have options for that also.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome. Um, so we find the house, we're under we go under contract, and we want to use this program. Does
Yes.
it close typically like a typical, FHA? Is there any time added on the back end? You know, in 30, 45 days. I mean, I want to just take a pause for the cause. When it
Okay.
comes to FHA programs, there is this stigma or this taboo out there that FHA loans take longer to close than your normal conventional loans. Whereas Tony and I did a FHA. Tony had a clear to close. Well, yeah, you had a clear to close in like what, 10 business days?
It
It was
was
something
7 days.
ridiculous.
I think it was like 7 days or
It
eight
was
days or
ridiculous.
something
And I'm
like
like,
that.
wait a minute. FHA is
Yeah.
supposed to take, people shy away from it because they say, oh, it just takes longer to close. Like I know even sometimes when you're dealing with um different, agents, they won't accept a FHA versus a convention because they're like, okay, well, this is a good contract, but FHA be taking forever to close. And I'm saying, okay, I'm a believer at this point. No, I know somebody who could get FHA done very quickly, but FHA in combination with this program, does this affect your closing time at all? Do you need more time? How does that work?
So we will need a little more time versus your normal traditional FHA. And to your point, Renee, thank you for pointing that out. Yes, FHA to me, it's I can close an FHA loan, regular FHA loan, just as fast as I can close a conventional loan. It doesn't take any more time. I can get the appraisals in just as fast. With this product with Chenoa, yes, we want to have a little bit more time, but I wouldn't say you need any more than a normal 30-day, to close, contract, even with the Chenoa. Okay, so
Hmm.
we can still get a Chenoa loan closed within a 30-day time frame.
Okay. Now there's a prerequisite or a program or something that those who are interested in this program that they have to go through. Like is I believe there's some type of is it a course like a program or something that you have to complete in order to qualify for this program?
So that is all predicated on credit scores. Okay.
Okay.
So if a person has the minimum credit score that we have to have for the program is a 620 credit
Okay.
score.
Mhm.
And so if your credit score is between a 620 and a 639, you have to complete an online course of home buyer, first time home buyer training. And it's
Okay.
simple. I send you the link, and the person is able to complete that on their own pace in their own home, and provide a certificate at the end. If you're 640 and above, there's no home buyer education course required. So
Okay.
that's only for certain credit scores that have to have the home buyer education course.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely am excited and I excited to be able to offer this program. I'm not sure is it how long has it been? I've never, just 100% full disclosure. I have not used this program, but I am excited to use it. I work with a lot of first time home buyers. I've run into even current clients who have an issue with the down payment. So, just excited to know that I can offer this to my clientele. But, how long has it been around? Is this something, um, I don't even like using this word on my channel, but post Rona, pre Rona, has it been around for a while? I mean, what is this? This
It
this.
has. It's been around for a while. I have heard about it even with previous companies that I work for,
Mm-hmm.
but not all companies will allow this as one of their products that they offer. So it
Gotcha.
is just that. It's a product. It's through another institution that allows different lenders to utilize it for their assistance to their buyer. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm with Guaranteed Rate now, and Guaranteed Rate does utilize Chenoa. So obviously, I'm in a position where I can utilize this for my buyers. But
Mm-hmm.
I have heard about it for some years before. So
Okay.
exactly how long it's been around, I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
because I have been with previous companies that did not utilize the Chenoa. So, but now
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, great. I'm glad you have that to offer.
Yeah.
I want, is there anything else about this program that I may not have asked you that is something that the viewers need to know?
Absolutely. So, I would say one of the other key points about this program is that it does not have any income limits.
Mm,
Okay, so a lot of programs that are looking for a first-time home buyer and giving assistance towards that, they're going to look at household income or
mm-hmm.
a certain income limit of the buyer, whether it's a certain percentage of the median income or under or what have you. For this program, it has no income limit, so buyers of any income can qualify for this program as well. So that's a good feature also.
That is a very good feature. Okay. Especially when you're talking about people who are looking to not so much their first home, but also looking to purchase, somebody who may be a little bit further in their careers and looking to use it on maybe on a repurchase. That's a good point. But we do have some of these new millennials coming out here and they knocking it out the box and just going into the workforce making Bitcoins. So
Absolutely,
it's like a
absolutely.
big difference for when we were coming up and what was our minimum wage like 60. Okay, I'm not gonna tell my age.
Right, right. Oh no, right.
But yeah, the world is definitely different now than it was when we were just coming into the workforce. But yeah, it's good to know that there is no income limit on this so that more people can utilize it. I think, there are a lot of programs out there and people just don't know about them and don't know that they're available. But I am very excited about this and to be able to educate my fan base. I mean, not my fan base, Lord,
Oh, you have a
my
fan base. Yeah, you said it right. You said it right.
uh, my fans. I want all my fans to know my whole okay, I'm gonna do a time stamp. My whole 100 and however many followers that I have come, look,
Right.
see me in a year. Let's see what my fan base will be. No, but
There
I
you go.
appreciate everybody who comes on this channel, whether you like, subscribe, share, which I would ask that you do, because I want to continue to just educate people with what is out there when it comes to home ownership and making the step towards it. I know it can be a scary thing for the first time, whether you're a first time buyer or even a first time investor. I run across a lot of people who want to get into it and they're just afraid and just don't know what direction to go into. And, since, we've been doing it, me and my husband and I have been doing it for a while. I like to try to educate people on that front as well, to just be able to just, you sometimes you just got to jump out there. I mean, again, don't make any decisions without wisdom and input, but also don't allow your fears that are really don't exist to keep you from doing something that your heart really desires to do, especially if it's going to build generational wealth and help to advance you and your family and the legacy that you leave behind. So um I do not have any other questions for you, but clearly you have something else to say, so go ahead.
I'll say I just you were hitting it right on the head there. I do want to say something just to
Hmm.
piggyback off of what you said, and you made a great point about just educating the buyers, the
Hmm.
clients, the field, if you will, everyone who's interested in buying or moving up or purchase, even if they've already been a homeowner. I think it's very key to make sure that we share this information
Hmm.
and accurate information, because
Right.
it kind of puzzles me sometimes when I do talk to a buyer and I may ask them certain questions, general questions, if they've spoken with another a mortgage person before, and I'll say, well, what kind of program were they going? Just a simple
Hmm.
question. They wouldn't be able to answer that, between the FHA or conventional. So I pride myself on educating the buyer and just giving them options, okay?
Hmm.
Because yes, this is a program, this is an option of a program for down payment assistance, but there are other down payment assistance program, as you mentioned. This
Hmm.
this session here was for Chenoa, but it may be some other things that we can look at. It may be a better program that doesn't have down payment assistance that's better suited for that buyer.
Hmm.
Okay, and so,
Right.
but if the buyer doesn't get all of the options presented to them, then they're just going to be told one thing, or what they heard from someone else, and not know realizing that another situation could be better for them. So I think it's key to just make sure that we're uncovering all the options, for each individual person, because everybody's case is not the same.
Right.
So you hit that right on the head, and I share that same desire to educate and inform and just provide options for everyone.
Okay. Well, again, I thank you for spending part of your afternoon with me, Mr. Vice President of Mortgage Lending at Guarantee
Thank you very
Rate.
much. Thank you very much.
See, okay, before we go, I do want you to just tell people how, if they want to use you as a lending source, how do people find you? You do not have to work with me as a realtor, although I would appreciate it if you are in the Atlanta metro area or all over the country, because I got people. Like, I just closed a loan the end of last year in Chicago with a partner that I have up there. So I can close loans all over the country, um, and working on some international stuff too. But y'all, look, y'all keep that secret. Y'all 100 people that's watching, see, y'all get the inside scoop. But anyway, for those people who, even if you're working with another realtor, how are they able to get in touch with you? What states can you close loans in? Like, are you licensed in any other states? But let the people know that, because we don't know who's watching and where they watching from.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I am your uh, universal loan officer. I would say I can do loans in all 50 states.
All right
Okay.
now.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
I can do.
50 states.
I can facilitate loans in all 50 states. So if you do have any need, or you have any clients or anyone has any family members that would like to be assisted with the financing, they would just reach out to me at rate.com/Tony Brown. It's my
Okay.
website. Again, rate.com/Tony Brown. And that would have all of my contact information, how to get in contact with me, how to get started as far as the online application, and go from there.
Okay, that sounds good. And I will also make sure that I put that the link to your website in the comments below. Again, like, subscribe to my little channel, y'all. Let me get my numbers up. Subscribe, like, share this with someone who you know that may be a first time home buyer and may need some assistance with their down payment, that can take advantage of this wonderful opportunity and program with down payment assistance that can help them get into their home. We need to try to get more people into homes. Rents are uh, astronomical and going through the roof. It's a catch 22. I am a landlord, so I do need people to rent, but I am more passionate about people getting into home ownership, investing. Hey, take advantage. It's out there. Take advantage of it. But yeah, if you need assistance with that, please reach out to Tony. Reach out to myself. Even if you have questions, drop your questions in the comments below. We will make sure we get an answer for you. But and that's all I have to say. Tony, you good? You got
Thank
anything?
you. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Renae,
Okay.
for the
You're very
opportunity to
welcome.
be with you.
You're
Yes.
very welcome. You're very welcome. And again, I thank you for being here. Come back, you guys. We're gonna have a lot more here to talk about when it comes to real estate. Real estate is huge. It has a lot of intricate parts, but I'm gonna do my best to educate you and give you what you need so that you can make that next step in your whatever your little heart desires to do in this beautiful world that we both reside in, called the real estate
Yes.
industry. So thank you so
Yes. Yes.
much. Check us out next time. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming here to join me. Before I go, I do want to say that life is filled with many choices, and you are only one choice away from your destiny. So please choose wisely. Love you guys. See you on the next time when we come back. And if you have any questions, like I said, make sure you reach out, and we'll be having some answers for you. Peace.
Awesome.
Every morning I wake up with purpose, I gotta go get it. I got that stack on my benches, no, I won't settle for millions. No need for salary capping, cause my money ain't got no ceiling. I'm talking hundreds and fifties, I'm about my business, I gotta take it my. If it ain't about that check, don't waste your breath, I ain't got time. Cause I'm like that, Melly, I got money on my mind. For my brothers in the grave, and my doing time. I'ma run up that blue check, and I'ma go get what's mine. Wait, I gotta grind. I gotta aim for beyond the stars, cause I gotta shine. I gotta do what it takes to put food on my plate so my family can dine. I'm about to go up and blow up on like Ruby J stepped on the mine. This for the days that I start with my and for the nights that I cried. This for the times that I had to be the bigger person and swallow my pride. This for the cheating and did me the dirt and who lied. This for the times that I went through depression and still put the to the side. I had to get on my mind. Got a son back at home who rely on his father to help be his guide. That's why I'm back making these rhymes, working this booth like it's my 9 to 5. And when I get to the top, family get piece of the pie. I swear that I'll never stop until I get every dime. The devil keep testing me, but I never fold. But please keep protecting me, watch over my soul. I swear that I never change, really just stick to the code. I just wanna leave a mark on the world. Every morning I wake up with purpose, I gotta go get it. I got that stack on my benches, no, I won't settle for millions. No need for salary capping, cause my money ain't got no ceiling. I'm talking hundreds and fifties, I'm about my business, I gotta take it my. Hey, if it ain't about that check, don't waste your breath, I ain't got time. Cause I'm like that Melly, I got money on my mind. For my brothers in the grave, and my doing time. I'ma run up that blue check, and I'ma go get what's mine.